Hello, my friends. This is a choose your own reading. We're going to pick a deck, choose your own deck reading. The focus and the intention that I'm setting here with this reading is a general reading just for figuring out what's going on in your life. Where are you stuck? What can be changed? And we're going to do this by past, present, and future layout. So I will have timestamps in the description so that you don't have to watch the whole video if you don't want to. This is going to be deck number 1. This is Vintage Wisdom Oracle. Deck number 2 will be Angels, Gods, and Goddesses. And the third deck will be Messages from Our Animal Spirit Guides. Okay? So that's deck number 3. So you're going to go ahead and pick the deck that resonates with you or that seems to be calling your name. And I'm going to go ahead and do a live shuffle. Well, it's on video anyway. It's probably not live when you're watching it. And we're going to go from there. So if you pick deck number 1, we're trying to figure out what's going on. Where are you stuck? What can be changed? What good news may be headed your way? What can you do to better your situation? And I'm getting number 5. So if you picked this deck, chances are you're going through a period or a phase in your life where things are very up and down right now. For some of you, this may even be affecting your health. You may be feeling very tired. You may be feeling very weak. For some of you, you're breaking through karmic contracts and karmic soulmates where you're kind of trying to come up in life. You're trying to break old habits, and a lot of it is actually past life stuff. So what you have going on is you might have a lot of people that are coming into your life but not staying. And you may be feeling very frustrated because you might feel that you have a strong connection with some of these people, but then you look and they're gone, or there's arguments, or there's something unhealthy or unfair that these people are doing to you, and you might be feeling like, oh my God, what is going on? Like, am I cursed? Why can't I find my people? You're getting there. You're just clearing out a lot of gunk right now. But that's just something that's coming in intuitively. But we're going to go ahead and see what the cards have to say. So this is how the past is affecting you. And you have innocence, okay? I think that for some of you, this could be childhood stuff. This could be that maybe you grew up with a overprotective background, or you grew up in a way where you were shielded and you were protected from how the world works. And now that you're a little bit older and you're getting out there, you're starting to realize that a lot of people don't have the same values that you have, and you might be feeling a little kind of shocked or surprised, or even maybe a little bit scared. For others, I feel like what this card means is that you just have a really good heart. You're a really loving person, and you don't think maliciously. Like, you don't think about how to hurt people or backstab people or lie to people. So when others do it to you, it's very hard for you to see it coming. And it's not because you're not a smart person or because you're not street smart. One piece of advice that I can give you if you are struggling with this, everything is a mirror concept, okay? So like, if you see somebody and there's things about them that you really admire and you think, wow, that's such a great person, or opposite, you see someone, you say, man, I really don't like that person. You're seeing qualities or bad parts about their personality that you have in you. So you're seeing the best of you in them, and you're seeing the worst of you in them. And we all have things that aren't so great about us, you know, or like things that we need to work on. There's nobody who's going to be 100% light all the time. But because everything is a mirror concept, and if you are someone that is not a deceitful person, or if you are someone who's not a scheming person, you're not going to immediately see it in other people because it's not in you to see. You don't have that to reflect back at you. So you might feel like, man, every single time I kind of get, hurt, or I get taken advantage of, or if I get tricked. So the piece of advice that I can give you is if you're struggling with this, is listen to your gut, because usually you look back and you say, I knew something didn't make sense, or I knew something was off, or something was telling me not to trust that person, or something was telling me not to go there, or something was telling me not to take that job. Listen to your gut, because you might not see that that's where it's going because you don't have that mirror, you don't have that reflection, right? You don't have it in you to reflect back at you, but your gut will always direct you because your gut can always smell danger, okay? So that's kind of how the past or what has happened in the past might be affecting the current situation. This is going to let us know about the present, what's going on right now if you chose this deck. So if you chose this deck, you're really wanting freedom. You're tired of maybe feeling like people are using you, or you're tired of being around people who aren't being very supportive of you, or you're tired of crying over someone. I think you're realizing that you do have that good heart, that you do have that innocence, that you are a kind person, that you deserve more than to be unhappy, that you deserve happiness, and you're wanting that freedom. And I think a lot of you are very close to getting it. And I think for a lot of you, you're coming out of a time where, yes, you've suffered for a very long time, and you might have been like, when is it ever going to change? Well, it's going to change soon, because I think a lot of you, even though you've suffered for a long time, you're coming out of the phase of depression where you're not able to do anything. Like, I think you're coming into the time where you're ready to get up and start taking steps. You know, for some of you, it may be taking classes at a community college. For some of you, it may be going out and looking for a new job. For some of you, it may be just going for walks every day, or reading self-help books, or you know, connecting with nature. For some of you, you may be connecting with water, or going swimming, or taking baths, or doing something therapeutic in that way. But a lot of you are beginning to take action steps, no matter how small, action steps towards shifting and changing the energy. So that's very positive, guys. That's a really good thing to be, you know, looking out for and to have happening. So you are on that road to freedom, okay? For some of you, you're working on the freedom right now. I think you're just working on giving yourself permission to want the things that you want, and to like the things that you like, and to start going towards them regardless of what people around you are saying. You may have people around you who are being discouraging, but you're giving yourself permission, and you're realizing that, you know, you can get up and fly away from this situation or from these people that are making you sad. So this is the future, what you have coming up, and this is centering. This is what you're going to have to work on to keep moving forward in that positive direction, right? Like, you've been hurt, you're starting to see a possibility for change, you're wanting to move forward. Now, as you move forward, there's going to be things that come at you that are going to be throwing you off your game. There's going to be things coming at you that might be setbacks where you get discouraged, or people that say very negative or hurtful or discouraging things. Especially if you're around some toxic people. But this card says centering. Oh, and just so that we don't forget, of course, our biggest enemy, our biggest block, can be that negative ego within ourselves that comes up and starts telling us all the ways in which we're going to fail, or all the ways in which, like, you know, we're kidding ourselves, or nothing ever changes, or we're not good enough, or it's not going to happen for us. I think that's the biggest enemy for most of us, is that little voice in our head that tears us apart. So in whatever case it is, whether it's your own internal dialogue, whether it's people around you, whether it's setbacks that are coming up due to time and circumstance, or issues with money that may be coming up along the way, you're going to get through it by centering. Centering is the same as grounding, guys, and there's different ways to do this. You can ground yourself. Some people do it by connecting with the earth. They'll take their shoes off and they'll be barefoot in the grass, or in the sand, or in the dirt, or somewhere outside. It really helps. You might be living in an area where you can't do that. You can't just be going outside willy-nilly barefoot, or you might not have a yard or like a clean or safe enough place to do that. This works in the house too, because to me, the important thing is connecting with your feet, right? Like, sometimes when I'm in my studio, I'll put my feet on the bare wood floor, or if I'm at home on like the tile floor, or even carpeting, and just connect with the sensations in the feet, because that's bringing you into your body. It's making you aware of your body. So you're coming back into the present. You're coming out of that mental state of worrying about what might happen, or worrying about what's going on, or worrying about a bill you just received, or a notice, or whatever. You're coming back into your body, and you're focusing on the feeling of being in your body. Meditation can be very centering, very grounding. You can even do it, actually, one of the easiest ways to ground is washing dishes, believe it or not. Because you're standing, you have contact with your feet to the floor, and your hands are in the water, and the sensation of the water's bringing you back into your body, and then you're washing dishes, so you're focused on like a task at hand. It doesn't have to be complex, guys. It really doesn't. I think a lot of the times when we're following gurus and teachers, they want to explain spiritual things in a very detailed way, because they want to make sure that they're getting everything in, and they're wanting to make sure that they're educating people. But at the same time, for some of us who maybe aren't there, or who aren't, wanting to go that deep into it, it can be very confusing and very complicated. And I'm letting you know, you don't have to study for years and years to learn how to center or to ground. It's as easy as washing dishes for some people, okay? And if you have questions about that, or if you want to set up a private guided centering meditation, I'm willing to do that. Just let me know. I can do it by phone if you're not local. I also would like to make a video in the near future for just a simple little centering, grounding, daily kind of meditation that people can do. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, because I haven't done the video yet, but you'll get a notice when I do, and you'll be able to watch that, and hopefully that'll help. So that's what we have for those of you who picked this deck. You're a good person. Maybe it's, people have used it against you, but you're coming out of that. You're going your own way. You're not being dependent on others, and you're going to make it as long as you just keep centering yourself and staying in the moment, and staying focused on the task at hand, and not getting carried away with the self-doubts and the worries and the fears that come up along the way. So I hope that was helpful for those of you who picked this deck. Now we will move over into deck 2, which is going to be our angels, gods, and goddesses. And I keep my decks pretty clear, but for whatever reason I like to wave them over the incense smoke, which is what I'm doing right now before I start. So what I'm getting as I'm shuffling this deck is I'm getting the number 7. When number 7 comes into my readings, it has to do with the message of listening to your intuition, listening to your guidance. So I think for some of you right now, what's going to help you get unstuck is by listening to your gut, because there may be things going on behind the scenes. And I think a lot of you are very logical people, right? And you don't like to jump to conclusions. You like to have good, solid, like hard proof in front of you first, which is good, which is really good that you're that way. But at the same time, you don't want to wait till you get bit, to take action, just because you don't see what's in the water beneath you, but you might feel or sense something's moving on around you, right? Like it might be a good idea to get out of the water. Just because you can't see it, you're sensing it, it might be good to get out. But let's see what the cards have to say, okay? And let's see kind of what's going on with where it's been and where it's going. So the way that we're doing is we're looking at the big picture here. So I'm going to do past, present, and future. It's going to tell us how the past is affecting whatever your current situation is, what's going on at present, and how you're going to be moving forward, or what you can expect moving forward, okay? So this first card here is the past. And it says, God of conflict resolution. You are being encouraged to walk away from a current conflict, okay? So this may be an ongoing theme for a lot of you. This may have been going on for a really long time, or maybe you had something negative happen and you tried to move forward, whether it was like to resolve an issue with a family member or a friend, or to leave a toxic job, And you might be having that happen in the past, and for some of you it may feel like a reoccurring theme, like, oh my goodness, is it happening to me again? But so this is telling me this is a life lesson for you. For those of you who are drawn to this deck, is maybe you might be experiencing this theme in more than one way in your life. It could be in your love life, with your friends, with work, or all of the above. And you're like, oh my goodness, like, why are people drama, or why do I seem to have these types of situations following me? It's because right now you're being encouraged to walk away from conflict and to learn different ways of dealing with conflict. Now, if you remember, one of the things I was getting intuitively as I was shuffling is I said you're being asked to listen to your intuition. And if you see here, his third eye is opening up, and the third eye is like the a symbol of intuition. So basically it's that intuition, or that third eye, and then the opening up of the heart chakra, and coming from a place of love, that you're going to be able to peacefully, I really emphasize peacefully, get out of these situations of conflict. So for some of you, conflict is a reoccurring theme, or has been for a while. Present moment, what you have is Goddess of Psychic Protection. Again, did I not say, you guys, we're dealing with intuition, and here we have psychic ability, here we have the third eye again? I mean, that's confirmation if I ever knew it. So this card is saying, what you believe, you create. No one can harm you. So for those of you who are having the conflicts, or who are having the problems, and because you are dealing with matters of intuition, for some of you, you might feel like, oh, the evil eye is on me, people are sending me bad juju, and that's why I'm having these problems, or that's why I'm getting stuck in these situations. For others, you might full on feel like, oh, somebody's doing a spell against me. I know a lot of you who are watching this video, or who watch these kinds of videos, happen to call like psychic hotlines, or go to psychics, and sometimes the things that they'll tell you is, oh, like somebody is lighting candles against you, or doing this or doing that. Now, guys, you have to understand something. I am not saying that it is impossible for someone to enter your energy. I just will say that it has to be someone who is highly skilled, which is very uncommon. And even once this person has skill to that level, secondly, they need your permission. Okay, like they need you in the spirit world, in the unconscious realm, to grant permission to access your energy. And so, you don't see, we have the smoke coming over right now, so that's confirmation. That's confirmation that you're safe, okay? That's confirmation that you're okay. And that as long as you are not, giving someone permission to access your energy, they're not going to be able to access your energy, okay? So in this moment, I want you to practice affirmations around being safe. I want you to practice grounding yourself. I want you to try to meditate. I want you to remind yourself that you are safe. Imagine that you're in a bubble with God, or Archangel Michael, or whatever spiritual being you find powerful, or that you resonate with. Put yourself in that bubble. Imagine that you're in that force field of protection, and expand it to include your home, car, bus if you're riding the bus, workplaces, anywhere that you're going. Just imagine that you're in this bubble at all times, and that you're protected. Okay, you're not having the conflict because you're cursed. That's what this card wants you to know. So then, moving forward, this is how it's kind of where things are headed. This is Goddess of Oneness. Someone you love is thinking fondly of you at the moment. So for a lot of you, you're coming out of this conflict and feeling like people are against you and situations are against you, as you continue working on your intuition and coming from that place of love, and connecting with your higher power, or connecting with that psychic doorway in a protective and safe way. You're feeling complete. You're connected to the higher power. You're connected to God, to universe, to source. And once you're connected to God, universe, source, you end up being a magnet for love, and you begin to draw love towards you. That is one of the biggest ways in which my life changed. When I opened up to my intuition and my gifts, all of a sudden, don't get me wrong, there are people who, and I'm not saying you're going to be doing what I'm doing and having a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and making videos, or, you know, doing readings for people. You don't have to do those things to be connected psychically. It's just something I was led to do. But what I was going to say is, you know, yeah, there were people that were against me. I did lose friends over it. I had friends that thought I was nuts. I had friends that thought this was the devil's work, you know, whatever, and they don't talk to me anymore. But at the same time, I all of a sudden found myself surrounded by some of them new people, and some of them people I've known for a long time, but like a renewed relationship, where all of a sudden there was so much love. There was so many loving people around me. And that's where you're headed too, okay? You're headed away from the conflict, away from the drama, as you're connected with your higher self, okay? And one of the ways that we connect with higher self is through our intuition, is through our own intuitive or psychic ability. So this is very positive. This is going in a good direction. You just have to remember to ground yourself and to keep your heart open, to keep working on your spiritual connection, and to stop looking for people outside of you to validate you, and to stop worrying about how other people are reacting towards you, or, you know, whether or not they are being understanding of your beliefs. I mean, you don't have to convert anyone. You don't have to try to bring people up and tell them what they should think or what they should feel. But as you're just becoming more of yourself within yourself, you are calling and drawing more love towards yourself. So I hope that was helpful for those of you who picked this deck. And now our third deck. Now something very interesting happened, guys. When I went to this deck, and as I'm shuffling this deck, I'm getting the number 4. Okay, so when 4 comes up, to me in my readings, it has to do of like the foundation being laid, things coming together, like things being on track. And you might not see the building yet, but the building is well underway of being built. Something very, very interesting happened when I pulled these decks out and I put them down before I began to record this video. Now, I'm clairaudient, which means that I hear more than I see. I don't consider myself to be I have some clairvoyant ability, but I don't advertise as a clairvoyant. I don't like see it. I'm not a fly on the wall type reader where I can describe physical attributes of people or situations. I pick up more on energy. I pick up more on thought. I pick up more on intention and things of that nature. But when I touched this deck, I saw a young girl who I think is going to be watching this video at some point. And she's between the ages of 14 and 16. Long, curly, dark hair, which I think is maybe dyed red or is reddish, orange, reddish at the tips. Maybe it's growing out. Maybe you had dyed it red and it's growing out. But between 14 and 16, it seemed like a young Hispanic or Latina girl. And I feel like you're in a situation where there's people around you that aren't believing in you. You know, family who are wanting you to go a certain direction in your life, and who feel like you're not being logical, or you're not being, how can I say this? Like you're not making wise decisions for your future. But what I'm being moved to tell you is that you are getting a scholarship into some art school or art program, and that's going to be changing your life. So I think maybe your passion is art, and they're telling you to give it up because you're not going to get picked, or there's not going to be money for it, or that it's not going to, you know, make you money in your life. But your angels want you to know you are going to get that scholarship, okay? And I hope that you believe in yourself to continue your work and your art, because I do feel it's very healing for you, and I feel it'll be very healing for a lot of other people. But back to this deck here, guys. This is basically telling us where you're coming from, where you're at, where things are going, what's happening in your life, what needs to be cleared. And so this is the past, how the past is affecting your situation if you chose this deck. So the past for you here is the peacock. Let yourself stand out and be noticed. So for a lot of you, I know we think of peacocks, or we see peacocks and we think of confidence, and we think of, like, in some ways maybe even a little bit of an arrogant animal. You know, if you've ever heard a peacock, they're beautiful birds, but they sound obnoxious. They have like this obnoxious sound. And so, like, we might think of them as like very flamboyant. But I think for a lot of people who are watching this video, who chose this deck, this is something basically where you've kind of had to come out of your shell to, like, shine, or to open up those feathers, or to see yourself. Like, to me, it feels more like making a decision that, you know what, I'm going to let myself stand out. I'm not going to hide my abilities anymore. It's very much very likened to, like, you know, when we're in school, like especially high school, right? Like, we don't want to be teacher's pet. We don't want to have our hand up and answer all of the questions correctly and participate in class. Or a lot of us maybe didn't want that, because, like, we didn't want people to think that we weren't cool, right? Or, like, we wanted the cool kids to like us. Or I mean I guess also depending on what school you went to. I am a product of public school and in the city, and I can tell you, public school in the city, you're not praised for being academically involved. So this is just more like kind of saying, you know what, I'm not going to be worried about what people are saying. I'm not going to be worried about people discouraging me. I'm going to let myself shine. I'm going to show my talents, my abilities, my gifts, even if they might be a little bit different. I'm ready to start being me and standing out. So good for you, you know, that you're coming into that space. Ooh, you guys have some pretty cards. And here in the middle, this is the present. This is unicorn. So this is indulge your creative, imaginative, and magical side through some form of artistic expression. This is crazy, guys. You saw me shuffle, and I was getting this girl with the whole art thing. So I think she's watching. I think a lot of this is for her. But if you're watching this, it's also for you, because we gravitate towards the deck by message. So a lot of you who are watching this, who picked this deck, are longing to be more expressive artistically, or to be doing something more creative. You might be feeling like life is very boring. You may be feeling like there hasn't been passion in your life for a while. You may be feeling like you're in a job which is like mind-numbing and you hate it. And you can't just pick up and quit your job. You have bills, you have expenses. I'm not telling you to quit your job and run away and join the circus. That's not the way the world works. But by allowing yourself to indulge in your creativity, your imagination, whether it's picking up a hobby on the side, nights or weekends, painting, acting classes, stand-up comedy classes, writing, you know, whatever it might be, whatever that kind of like interests you. And see, that smoke's coming over to me, so that's confirmation. But you're being called to awaken that creative side of you, and to do something imaginative, and to do something outside of the box. This is why you feel stuck right now. For those of you who feel stuck, this is why. You might be ready to shine. Seeing that smoke's coming over and giving confirmation. You might be ready to shine. You might finally be ready to be seen, but you feel stuck. Like, how is it going to happen? It's going to happen as you're connecting with your interests, your creative interests, your passions, or the things that seem exciting to you. And you're going to go in that direction. Okay? And because this is a unicorn, for me, and because we have peacock here, I feel that some of you that were drawn to this deck, what the message here is that maybe people don't see you as a magical person. Maybe people don't see you as a peacock. You might be known as a really, like, non-expressive person, or a very logical person, or a very responsible person, but you're bored to death out of your mind, you know? This is saying, let those colors show, like you're ready to come out, to shine, to show people that you have all those beautiful colors there, right? They don't know until you have it up and fanned out. And then you are this kind of interesting or charismatic or magical being. They don't know your talents. They don't know that side of you because you haven't done it yet. But that doesn't mean that it's not within you. And the reason why you're so unhappy and feel so stuck is because you're not being true to yourself. You are this unicorn. You're just kind of like in hiding. And it's time to be true to yourself and start embracing and going after those interests. So then this card is telling us about where the future is headed for you. And you have blue heron, okay? Make a stand for what you believe in and do what you feel is right. Do what you feel is right, in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others. And we had that smoke blowing over now again. So that's confirmation for you right here, basically. You know, like I said, they might not see you as that peacock. They might not see you as that unicorn. They may judge you. They may think you're having a midlife crisis. They may feel like you have your head in the clouds. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, guys. What matters is that you're doing the things that bring your heart joy, you know? As long as you are being responsible as best as you can be, and you are somebody who's contributing to your circumstances and to those who maybe you have obligation to, materially, financially, whatever, what have you. Like I said, this isn't quitting your job and running away and joining the circus. This isn't abandoning all logic and abandoning all responsibility. You know, you are being balanced, but, you know, you can't let people dictate what you do or what your interests are or what you pursue, right? So this is going to be standing up for yourself. And there's that smoke again, confirmation. You know, in spite of judgment or disapproval, being yourself. One of the things a lot of you are going to find as you are, and I think this is maybe why some of you haven't done it yet, as you're expanding and you're following your interests and your creative passions and pursuits, your mind is going to begin expanding. The crown chakra opens up. The heart chakra opens up. You start seeing the world in a very different way. And you might even start having different, you know, ideas about things or people or situations. And the people around you might not like it. They might think it's weird, or they might think that you're changing too much. And this is saying just stand up. Stand up for who you are, because you're not changing. You're just becoming more of who you are, as opposed to like who you've felt like you've had to be for so long. So I hope that helps you guys as you are going on your little journey, on your little path. Be sure to like and subscribe, as I am going to have more videos up in the future. I have a weekly forecast where I do, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the week ahead for each zodiac sign. Be sure that you watch those videos every week. And I'm going to have other little how-to videos, meditation videos, things like that are going on, as this is a very new baby channel. But I'm going to be making more content. So be sure to subscribe. And if you are interested in a private reading, do reach out. And I look forward to interacting with you all in other videos or comments or social media. AmethystAngelLight, Facebook and Instagram, where I do a card of the day and I do a choose a card each day. All right, all. Take care.